Big Trev coming at you one more time, and I'm going to talk to you about Pure Michigan 400, Michigan International last weekend here. A little late doing this, but it's okay. Brad Keselowski won the pole, and it's ironic because he's complaining about all the Toyotas and their speed. But I will say, more than the first half of the race was uneventful. There were two 60-lap stages, and the final stage was 80 laps. So, stage one, caution-free until, of course, the end of stage one. So there were really no incidents, but and then the second, let's see. Oh yeah, second stage, no cautions. So the second caution was the end of stage two, and pit strategy towards the end of stage two, some of the guys pitted, some guys didn't to get stage points, and the third caution was actually with about 60 laps to go. Casey Kane and Suarez crashed. The leaders pit. Keselowski won the race off pit road. And then it gets interesting towards the end with Logano blowing a tire. And that was... or he cut a tire while he was on pit road. The caution came out, and Michael McDowell had crashed. So we had our first green-white checkered under the new format where there was no more overtime line. And it did really look like that Truex was going to win it again. But Kyle Larson got a better restart. They had a red flag there under that, and I think Truex had mentioned in his interview that he spun the tires and didn't get a good restart. So Kyle Larson wins. It's his third win at Michigan. Truex was second. Eric Jones was third. And so it was somewhat uneventful. We had 5 yellows for 28 laps. So it was and that includes the stage interval, so it really wasn't much to talk about. But Matt Kenseth had a terrible restart. He was third. He was in position to possibly pick up a win. And on the final restart of the green-white checkered, he cut a tire and finished... Where did he finish? 24th. Now, scoring had Bowyer, the last car on the lead lap, and then Kenseth 1 lap down. Other sources say that Kenseth was on the lead lap, so I'm going to count him as on the lead lap, last car on the lead lap. So you will see the results on the bottom of the screen. Now, as we get closer to the playoffs, the top 5 playoff standings you will see as well. But the bubble right now is Kenseth and Bowyer. And we move on to Bristol. And that race, it's the Bass Pro Shops NRA night race. And that race is on NBC. But we'll see. Kenseth's good there. It's prime time under the lights. We'll see who's going to be strong. Kenseth has good luck there, but I'll tell you, Bristol's going to be a wild card, and then there's Darlington too yet, and I believe that's next weekend or the weekend after. But this is it. This is Bristol, Darlington, and then Richmond. That's it. After that, the playoffs begin, and we'll see what happens all the way to Homestead. So I've got my predictions now. Martin Truex is really strong. Unless he has a string of bad luck once the playoffs begin, I predict him and maybe Larson to battle it out all the way to Homestead. But um, as far as what happened at Michigan, I mean, personally, I am not really a big fan of these 2 mile tracks. I think we need more. We need more short tracks. We need more road courses. At least at the road courses, they can race in the rain. Well, I I have my feeling about Richmond, or I'm not Richmond, but Michigan. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've got. This is kind of short, sweet, and to the point. But like I said, we look on to Bristol, and my predictions there are Kyle Busch. He's strong. Um, Kyle Busch actually won the truck race on Wednesday night. He came all the way back up through the field after a pit road penalty for pitting too soon while the pits were closed or speeding. He had a pit road penalty regardless, and Kyle Busch won the truck race. Came up all the way through the field, and he found the top lane. But what I think is he's running these races to learn for the Cup Series. That's what I think. And he's also racing these other races to, Xfinity and the Truck Series. He's trying to teach these other younger guys how to race a little better and improve their strategy. I really think that's what Kyle Busch is doing. But another storyline I wanted to let you know about is Brad Keselowski Racing is done after 2017. They will not field a team in the Truck Series after this year. So we'll see what happens. My NBC broadcast rating is a 6 out of 10. They did a little bit better with the intervals this time. There were less commercials. However, without Rick Allen being back, I believe there's problems in the booth without being able to understand that Lee Diffie. So that's my broadcast rating there. And again, we move on to not Richmond. I'm sorry. We move on to Bristol. So we move on to Bristol. Saturday night under the lights, 500 laps. It's going to be a big wild card race, and that's going to be that anything can happen. That's what I mean by that. It's the Bass Pro Shops NRA night race. Saturday, August 19th. 7:30 Eastern on NBC. So, that's all I got, and we'll talk to you next time.